All right. And then I can do this and focus on you and give you like more. Let me, Grace is here. Let me let her in. Welcome, Grace. Nice to see you. So like what I was saying is, the more you worry about that aspect in particular, it may be harder for you. It's easier if you decide that there is something bigger that you want to focus on than that you want to disguise something else. It's always better to think about the things you want than the things you don't want. Because the more mindful you are about the things you don't want, the more they will show, the more they will become obstacles to what you want to do.
It almost reminds me of what I do with my kids. It's like, oh no, let's pay attention to something else, change focus.
Mm-hmm. It is. Well, and that's kind of what life is about, right? So if we want to attract good things, we have to be doing good things. So if we behave in a badly shape, like if we do something that is not the one that we should be doing, more of that bad thing will happen to us. And then we are not going to get out of that. So we need to really pull to the other side and start having like the good things that we want to attract happen in our lives and doing things the way that we want them to happen as well. So that like we start a sequence of good waves, let's put it this way. But with this, so what we have to think is like, what are the tools that we have to make people perceive us the way we want? Okay. And then to each of you, it will be different, because depending on the kind of people you want to connect with. So what there is, Grace, is I just posted, can one of you just share the link to the worksheet that I just shared with you, the one with the 7-Eleven rule? Thank you, Vivi, thank you. Yeah, and do you also have the commitment to style up? Have you got it already or not yet?
I don't know what you mean.
Okay, so you don't have it. Yes, there you go. Fantastic. Vivi has shared the two of them with you already. Great. Thank you very much. So there are some things that are easier to show to people than others. Okay, so let's think about like when we go and discuss being perceived as credible, believable, and competent and honest, right? What do you think could be the tools you would have in your closet or like in your grooming that could help you be perceived as someone credible, someone who cares, someone who is professional?
I know as a consultant, we thought about this a lot, and we're told to always carry a notebook with us. And even if you don't take notes, people perceive that if you have a notebook, you've thought about it and you're more credible and they can depend on you. So sometimes it's just visual cues.
That is interesting. It works very, very well. And it's part of maybe the accessories that you're going to have with you. But it's not always that you can go to a place and have a notebook with you, right? So the one thing that is always with you is
you.
Your smile.
I think that the one thing that I do, and I think that has been, I like doing, is really, before I go in, whatever, I visualize what kind of experience I want to have. I visualize what kind of client or person I want to attract. And I really try to be that person, because although a lot of people say that opposites attract, not always. So if I really send out that vibe of someone who's successful, of someone who is, has abundance, I will most of the times really attract someone like that. So I think visualization and really putting myself on that mindset helps me out, and everything is connected to that. It always starts with me.
Yeah, you are 100% correct. The thing about opposites attract does not work every time. I would say that when we're talking about this, it's most likely the opposite, right? you will be attracted by the person that you want to become, right? So like I said in the beginning, you will relate with the people who are at least in the same level as you, but that you are looking up to, right? You see, and sometimes the funny thing is, sometimes you may even be in a better position than that person. You may be in a better position than that person. However, because of the way that person presents themselves, they make you believe that they are in a position for you to look up to them, right? So something that has a lot to do with being credible and showing that you're competent and successful is your posture. And this is the first thing that you can change in your appearance. And it's like foremost the most important, I would say, because if you walk as someone who's always like saying, I'm sorry, excuse me, this is the way the world will treat you. This is how you will be perceived. So you have to own your space. And the first way to own your space is by being in a position that you really take up your space. And it has to do with shoulders. It has to do with your head. It has to do with looking at people in their eyes. And really, like when you're talking to someone and you are like this, you don't show confidence at all. For you to show confidence, you have to be able to look at the person, speak with them, like looking into their eyes and showing them, yes, I'm here. I'm all with you at this moment. Nothing else matters more than you. And I don't know if it showed well when I'm doing this, looking at the camera. I hope it did, but that's the idea. Okay. And yes, the way, like what you wear and the way you put yourself together also tells them that they are important for you. And I heard something from a real estate agent the other day, very famous, and you probably know him. He's Ryan, and I will not say his last name because I think it's Swedish. And he's in the Millionaire Bravo TV like show with, well, you know who he is. He's the tall one. He just got a baby, and like
$1 million listing.
Hey, there you go. So, and he said something. He said that he used to wear his lucky suit or something like this. And that's what he wore every time he was gonna meet a prospect client that was important for him. Because when he wore that, he felt like he was Superman. He felt like wearing that suit, nobody was gonna beat him. So when he got to a meeting wearing that, he felt so powerful that people felt he was powerful. It was in him. So that is something. And something else about that is when you go see someone and you look sharp, the people on the other side, they think, okay, this person thought about it. This person thinks I'm important. They care about me because they took the time. Everybody knows that looking good doesn't happen like overnight. You don't like step out of your bed looking like a celebrity. No, you don't. You have to really use like your hair dryer, a styler. You have to think about like how to coordinate your tops and your bottoms. You have to think about like what accessories you're wearing. And all of that takes time. So when someone is interacting with you and they're looking at you and they think they look good, they are thinking, okay, there was a lot of time that this person put into getting ready to come see me. I respect that because this person respects me. And that happens so quick, so fast. So taking the time pays off. Those extra 5 minutes that you usually say, oh, I hate putting makeup on. I do too. I'm not a makeup kind of girl. No, I prefer like, and you see that I am wearing makeup, but it's like super light and I don't like heavy makeup. That's me. I'm more of a natural style person. But if I don't wear any makeup, I will be perceived, and I will, like, the first thing people will see is, oh, that bare face. We didn't even take the time to really look presentable. And what happens is all the focus that was supposed to be going to how credible and competent and knowledgeable you are goes into, oh, really? She looks like crap. So when you put yourself together, when you take time to, like, for grooming, for looking good and all of that, you're making people perceive you and not your lack of time and not how much in a hurry you were, or how much money you don't have to buy clothes, or how much in a bad situation you are in your business, and all of that. So you put all of that aside and you have time to be present, because that's not an issue in the middle of the conversation. That's not going to be noise in the conversation. Do you get it? Does that make sense? Right? Let me see. Oh, sure.
Yeah, I have a question. I hear what you're saying. And I mean, coming from professional consulting, where I started my career in the UK, I worked for Deloitte, I worked for Warner Brothers, big Dell, big names where image is very important. So I get what you're saying and I completely understand. But I do have a question. As we move into what I perceive as a new paradigm and, post-COVID and all that, it seems like authenticity is even more important. So I've personally gone back and forth between should I even wear makeup, and how much effort should I put in to try to look, try to be something that I'm not. I mean, like you said, we don't just roll out of bed looking all styled. And I think there is definitely a difference between looking put together and being sloppy. So I'm not arguing about that, but I'm just curious about your perspective on this, because I've seriously spent a lot of time and energy over the last, even I would say 3 years, where I went to the extreme of not wearing any makeup, not wearing any bras, not wearing any, just like really exploring this on both ends of the spectrum to really decide who am I really, and how do I want to show up in the world, and and what kind of people do I want to attract. And I feel like when I put my put together face on, with my makeup, and I spend time doing my hair, and I when I make an effort, I definitely feel like I look better and I feel better. I feel more professional. But I also find that I may turn off some people who are really wanting to just be accepted for who they are without having to go to that much trouble. So I'm just curious if you understand what I'm saying about how
100%.
things have shifted.
100% I understand. And to your point, I think what I have to say is, like I said in the beginning, there's no right or wrong. You just have to know that there will be a response to what you're putting out there. Okay. So, and I'm 100% sure that because you have been in both ends of the spectrum, you have also noticed how people reacted to you in a different way in both ends, right? So the thing here is, where do you feel the most like yourself? Where do you feel the most like interacting with the people who you really want to be interacting with? Because if you tell me that you were in your best self and you interacted like much better with people when you were in your stage where you were wearing no bras and you were supernatural and no makeup, that's your audience, that's your world, and that's okay. The point is, you cannot expect to be dealing with the corporate world the way it is and look that way. You're going to be more into an environmental kind of industry. Maybe you're going to be dealing with people who are into nature and the new aspects of like saving the world in terms of the climate change and all of these things, that like all of this things related to be more natural. Whereas if you look the part and you look sharp and you are more like in the corporate world, those are the people who are going to say yes to you. So there is no right or wrong. you will relate to people the way people relate to you, and vice versa. It goes back and forth. So it's natural that, and let's bring it to a much smaller world and much simpler world. Okay, I don't know how many of you here are moms, but if you're a mom and you take your kid to school, right, and you are wearing like sweatshirts, right, and sneakers, you're gonna be hanging around those moms who are wearing sweatshirts and sneakers. If you decide to go pick up your child wearing high heels and a skirt, you will end up hanging around those moms who do the same. So you have to think about your plan. And if you are in the coaching business, you have to think about who your audience is and how you want to connect with them. If your audience is those people who really are in the more natural spectrum of life, go that way, walk that path, and you're going to reach out to them, and they're going to love it, and they're going to relate, and they're going to be on board. What you cannot do is expect people who are polar opposites to really want to buy from you, to really want to interact and to engage with you, if you are not someone they feel connected to. It's like I don't know how many of you have moved to a different place. When I moved here, I had to make friends. What I did was I walked around, and I remember going to the park and looking at people and thinking, okay, who here looks like someone I can say hello to? That very simple, easy hello thing got an effort from me. I had to really choose the people I was going to say hello to because I wanted to make friends. And I really didn't want to say hello to the wrong person because I didn't want to get like a face turned around back, or I didn't want to get hello from someone that I didn't really want to relate with. And it is effort. And how did I decide who I was going to say hi to? I had no other means. Either I was going to be introduced to those people, or I was going to have to look at them and find in the way they look things that related to me and made me feel comfortable and made me feel welcome. And you will feel welcome like in so many different ways, depending on where you are and what you want. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you. That was a really big aha for me to realize that, it's so simple, but it's something I've been struggling with for a few years now, and it just makes so much sense. It just goes back to what you said at the beginning. You want to attract, you just dress like the person that you want to attract. That's the bottom line. And so what I've noticed is when I was dressing up more, and I used to wear personal tailored suits and all of that, I certainly attracted a different kind of person who would be more high end, who would be willing. I wasn't offering coaching services at that time, but they would have paid a lot more. And then when I experimented with the other end of the extreme, where I was going no makeup and braless and all that, I was attracting a different kind of person. But those kind of people, even though they really resonated with my message, they were certainly, none of them were willing or able to pay me anything close to what I believe my services are worth. So I guess it comes down to really being strategic about in our businesses, who do we want to attract? Who are we going to most resonate with? And for me, that's when I think about how do I want to show up in the world? What are the kinds of people that I want to spend my time with my clients? What kind of clients do I want to have invest in me, and for me to invest my time in them? And then I'm going to dress like that, because those are the kind of people I'm going to attract. So thank you for this conversation. It's really been a big aha.
I'm happy that it helped you. I'm glad that it made sense. Flavia, I want you to say something, to say what you have to say. I just want to say something before that. When you relate to people who maybe would not be the ones who would be paying your high ticket, what you have to have in mind is that you have to offer them something that they will buy, but then you're going to have more people, right? So the kind of offer will be different. And then sometimes, and I remember that one of the people that I had helped me with my business, ages ago once told me that there are two ways to make money in the world. Either you will sell little to like sell a lot to a few people, or sell little to many people. So at that point, I had a school, and I was not the one who would say how much that tuition would be, because it was a franchise, and I had to really like do what they told me to do. But because of the price, I attracted a certain people. And back then, I was not aware of the kind of marketing that I would have to do, or the kind of appearance I would have to have to attract the right customers. So I struggled because the communication was not clear. I just was told, this is how much you have to charge, this is your package. But I was trying to attract everyone and communicating everything all the time. So I was not being true to myself, and it was so tiring and time consuming. Once you know, this is my people, this is what I'm offering them, and this is what I have to look like so that they relate with me and we can go ahead in the business together, it's so much easier. So much easier. Please, Flavia, go ahead.
Well, I'll share my 5 cents. I think Liz is a perfect example of the both end of the spectrum. You guys might not know this, but being Brazilian, image is a big deal, right? I think it's part of the culture that everybody needs to be put together and look, and I say good in, in quotation marks, especially in the image industry. And Lisi, she's able, I mean, if you look just to Brazilians doing what Lisa's doing, you think it's about the glamour, and it's about, the high end and looking good. And for people that needed a little bit more substance, for people that needed a little bit of depth into this world, and I say this because you guys probably know I was her student, right? Now, friend, I mean, you guys, you never leave her alone. I'm telling you, once you go, Liz, you never go back. We became friends now. But my point is, for me, I looked at those people and hey, this is fun, dressing up, doing your hair, it's all fun. But for me, I wanted to work with people in a deeper way. And it took me 2 years to find somebody, in this case, Lisi, that looked, that gave me a little bit more than I was expecting. It was more, so in a sense, it's kind of like she's the casual, more natural, no makeup, braless teacher that I was looking for. Does that make sense? Even though she finds a way to, look her best in a way that makes sense to her. So it's just pretty much what you guys said. It's about, finding your audience and finding your people. And I'm glad I found my person, found my people a year back. But for us, it's even bigger. You guys don't know this too. She did not pay me to say this, I promise. She did not pay me to say this.
What's coming?
She is wonderful. I took her course, and I took courses from the big names in Brazil. I live in Texas, but I'm Brazilian too. And hands down, she has the best content, hands down, right? And I'm thinking, wait, if you look at these people online, they're blooming, thousands and hundreds of followers, and they go on TV and all of that. And I'm thinking, what's going on? But it's about perceived image, right? If you're in Brazil and it's all about image and it's all about glamour, you look at Lisa and you think, really? I'm expecting big old hairspray, and you're expecting somebody to be all, I guess, ready to go into a red carpet event. And you look at her and she's a person, she's human, she talks like everybody else talks. And so that was a breath of fresh air for me when I started, because you do end up looking for the person that speaks your language, regardless of what it is. And yes, there's a lot about, making sure that you tackle the people that can pay you. She will probably teach you that as well, because depending on me, I want to free for everybody. I want to help you. And I'm so heartfelt sometimes that I want to help everybody, giving you 100% off, and you end up making no money. So that's bad for the business. But anyways, I just wanted to let you guys know that what you guys described, it's her, the 100%, like the both ends of the spectrum. She is the end of the spectrum for me, because I could relate to the glamour world out there. I really needed somebody that was real and somebody that spoke to people, real people, not people on TV, not people in magazines, but real people. And so I think you can do both. You know, you can still step up to step up your business, but I think you can still be real and you know, have that moment with your clients.
Well, thank you. Thank you
You're
very
welcome.
much.
Ma'am.
And yes, Flavia has been like around me for like a while already, and I hope she'll like stay there forever because I really love her energy. I love the way she puts like everything in great perspective when we're discussing business. She has become a great friend and partner, and she started out as a student, right? And when she says that about my qualifications, I feel super flattered, and I thank you so much. But what I wanted to say about that is, this is like the one thing that has to do with culture that you pointed out super well, right? And then I want to bring you to, I think you remember that I mentioned, I don't remember in what video I said, I'm going to tell you like what has happened to me and why I have decided to change my appearance. Because up until very like short time ago, I had blonde hair, and I looked a lot like those Brazilians, right? And then I was thinking, that's not my audience. So when I say that about me, I want you to think about how this makes sense to you, okay? I am a Brazilian expatriate. I live in New York, and Brazilians who are in Brazil, when they look at me, they think, oh, she lives in New York. Wow. When I think of me, I go like, wow, I live in New York, really? It's totally different. I'm not proud and happy and boasting around that I live in New York, when New York actually is a place that is cold, super expensive, hard to make friends. That's not the kind of life that I would want to have. But for them, that's what they think about New York. Okay, so they expect someone who lives a life I don't live. It took me a while to realize that I was speaking to the wrong market. People who are there expect something from me I cannot give. And honestly, I don't want to. And that's the most important thing. I don't want to. I don't want people to look at me and think, oh, she lives in New York. I couldn't care less. I could live like anywhere in the world, and I would still want to relate with people who I can speak to their hearts. And I want to relate to people who see beyond image. And what I say in my training program is, I train my students to dress souls, not bodies. A body changes, a soul is forever. A body can be a mannequin at a store. A soul has goals, has dreams. And I care about your dreams and about your goals, right? So what I see about the fashion world is a pure tool of communication. It's communication. So when you think of that, and when you look at yourselves and you just realize that everything that happens in your face, everything that happens in your body is actually saying something about you, then you can look at fashion with like a totally different perspective. So let's talk about like what's fashionable right now. Everybody, like if you go, and that's was something I go like, really, one more? You look at all of the fashion bloggers out there. The color of the year, it's this, I don't know what gray, and that I don't care yellow. Those are the two colors like for the year, right? Okay, what if I live some life that gray doesn't make any sense, because I live in a country where gray is a color used when you're like, you wear gray when you're sad. I don't want to wear that. What if you are a person whose beautiful is not flattered, is not enhanced when you wear yellow? What if you wear yellow, you go on the screen and you look all yellow, and then people look at you and they go like, what's wrong with her? Oh no, she's wearing the fashion color of the year. Who cares? So it's not about that, right? It's about knowing who you are, what you naturally communicate because of your natural appearance, because of your features, and playing them up. So what we will begin to see little by little is the tools we have. And I have said over and over again that we will be dealing with lines and colors and print and all of that. And all of that will relate to you in a different way because you're different people. So it's not a one size fits all thing. It's not a copy and paste trick. It's not like you can go and say, okay, so this is the magazine. It says that this is fashionable. This is what corporate women have to wear. Okay, so I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna buy this outfit and I'm gonna wear it and I'm gonna win the world. No, I'm sorry. That's not the way it works. Maybe you're gonna look at that power suit and think, okay, so that one has a lot of straight lines. I already have a lot of straight lines on my face. If I wear more straight lines, I'm going to be perceived as someone so distant and cold, no one will relate to me. So instead of choosing that color for this suit that is so powerful, I'm going to go down these many shades of color. I'm going to make this look a lot softer. I'm going to add curls to my hair because then there's some movement and I'm not so stiff and I'm not so blunt. And then I'm going to make it be more balanced. So that also answers the question, why now with my darker hair, which is my natural color, I have my waves here and there. Because if you look at me, I have a lot of straight lines happening on my face. Those straight lines make me be someone who looks sometimes distant, and I'm not. So I have to add some artificial round lines, curved lines to my face that will even up that and that will lower my authoritative look. Okay, so this is what you will learn throughout this week. Let me see what you read here. What you typed in.
We're all vouching for you to move to Texas. That's basically it. Me and Grace are like, Vivi approves this message.
Oh, Grace, you got a text at 9:30. I am so sorry, but okay, so there is a time zone confusion going on here because I don't know where you are. We are starting every day at 11 a.m. Eastern time, like daylight Eastern time. Okay, which should be then
10 for us.
Are you Central Time, Grace?
Yeah, I had it on my calendar at 10, but then at 9:30 I got a text that I thought was from you, and it said we'll be starting in an hour. So I thought, oh, maybe I got it wrong. It must be.
Probably because like the system I use, I don't know. I think it's based in Central Time. Maybe there is something that I have to adjust with the time in the system. I will check that. Thank you for letting me know that. Thank you.
I'm only saying it because I wonder how many other people might have just missed it and then not decided to join late.
That's true. That's true. Thank you very much. I will see to that today for sure. For sure. Okay. So before we wrap up, let me make sure that I have told you everything that I have to say. So what I want you to find out is when you look at yourselves, like we did yesterday. Okay. What are the things that are showing first in your appearance? What do you think you're showing? Because like if we take a look here, like when we talk about, for instance, sex role identification, this is something that is very, very sticky to talk about, right? Because especially with this like world we're living right now in which everything is like you cannot say that this is like this because they understand that you're judging, and we have to understand that we are not judging. We're talking about things the way they are, period. This is it. Okay, and there are some conventions that we have to agree that they're there. That's the way things are. Women, if they want to show that they are in the feminine side of the world, they do have to show that they are feminine here and there. And there are ways to show that. You can show that through bringing through the colors you wear, like feminine colors, through a fabric that is soft and sweet, through waves in your hair, through wearing accessories that women wear, through makeup. So like the more you wear things that are things women wear, the more you will show your position in this sex role identification aspect. Okay. If this is not something that is important to you, you shouldn't care about it. But if you are working with an audience that you have to relate in a way that they see that from you, then you have to worry about this. If you want people, like in my world, I like it when people look at me and they identify, oh, you are Christian too. You're like, I'm a Catholic, right? But I relate to so many like different Christian worlds. Yes, I am. You're too. Great. So we can connect and talk about Jesus. I love it. Many people don't. So many times through the way that I'm dressing, I will have things that will point to that. What is it that makes people look at you and think that you could be a Christian? Do you have any idea? It has to do with modesty. And modesty is it's one of the things that is so wrongly used and so wrongly understood in the world. And it's just about being mindful that your body is your body and that your body is sacred and it's a temple of God and that you have to deal with it in a way that you honor it. So I'm not going to be fleshing out parts of my body that should be intimate. That's easy, super easy. We're about to finish. Grace, thank you so much. And you're going to see the recording later as well. No worries. So like, this is one way. If you go and think, for instance, so sophistication, what is the one way people can see that you are a sophisticated person? It's through the kind of accessories you wear. Are you more of a fashion accessories, like that you use fashion jewelry? Or are you more someone who prefers fine jewelry? What kind of fabric do you wear? Are you more into silk or are you more into cotton? Are you more into linen or are you more into acrylic fabrics? All of that is speaking for you. So your choices when you go shopping, you have to go like, okay, what is it that I want people to read from me when they meet me for the first time? It's naturally in you and it's in the choices you make as well. Okay. How are we doing? Does that make sense? Tracy, you were so quiet. I couldn't hear you once. Tell me what you're feeling. How do you like it so far?
Very interesting. Yeah, I'm learning a lot. I have a lot of work to do on my style aspect and starting to grow my business, and I want to present myself differently than I am now. So yeah, it's very good.
Good. So please make questions throughout the week, okay? Don't keep silent. You have to ask your questions so that I can help you more. So Wayne, you are there hidden. Can we see you? Can we hear you? There she comes.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, dear. So tell me, how's it been for you? Any questions about today?
It's okay. I was late, and I'm waiting for the recording to hear the beginning.
Okay.
And I am a Haitian. I live in Haiti. I don't know if you know. Yeah.
Sure.
It's okay for me. I can understand when you talk. It's easy for me to listen and understand, but I'm not fluent in English. It's why. Okay.
No problem. And please, I totally understand that you're not fluent. I can really help you even though you're not fluent. So make your questions. It will not be a problem. I just want to hear, I really want to serve you. Okay. So please feel
Okay.
comfortable to ask and participate.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Alicia and Vivi, any final comments?
I'm just soaking in everything. I think it's very interesting to see
Good.
things, and actually to see how it aligns with things that I believe. So
Hmm?
I'm enjoying the ride.
I'm so glad. So happy for you.
Yeah, no, it's excellent. So much to think about because really change comes with thinking differently. And this is all about thinking differently and looking differently. And now that we have the awareness, everything changes because we can start
You're
putting.
never going to look at your closet the same way again.
Nope, not at all. Nothing.
Am I going to communicate this or that
Good job.
today?
I know.
Right?
And I'm such a thinker and feeler that I can't believe I never thought about this before. So this is so good.
Great. I'm happy.
I
You have an
usually just
assignment.
choose what fits. It's not even like.
I get it. I
Seriously,
get it.
I get. I've never really thought about it. I just think like, okay, what's going to fit today?
I feel like I need a new wardrobe.
Maybe.
No, you know what? You will feel like that. But let me tell you this: like, do not hurry. Do not take any harsh decision. It's not something that you have to go ahead and change your closet right now. Most likely, you will have just to take some time to understand what you're saying with the clothes you have. And then when you decide to go shopping, if you decide to go shopping, you will know what kind of communication you want to have, what kind of words you need to express through your appearance, right? And sometimes you will look, and this is something you have to bear in mind. It's not about only what you wear. It's a combination of everything. It's your posture, it's your voice, it's your clothes, it's your grooming. So sometimes I will just say, you know what? You have a closet that will work for you. Your wardrobe is okay. But think about that makeup. Buy a pair of earrings. Change the way you style your hair. Some changes are much easier than buying a new wardrobe. Some changes you can just go ahead, look into the mirror, like look in the mirror and make decisions right away. And this is why I said, play around, have fun with it. Nobody's going to jail for wearing the wrong outfit. Nobody's going to jail for having the wrong hairdo. You just have fun with it, learn from it, and move on, knowing what you have to do next. Okay? So your assignment for today is, I want you to look at yourselves the way you are right now. And then, like, you will take a picture and you will make one change, but one thoughtful change. Something you will add that will make you look different. And I want the picture of the decision that you made, of how, like, what you look like afterwards, right? So 2 pictures. This was me, and this is me after I thought about it. Okay? This was me, and this is me after I thought about it. And of course, why, right? Why you made that decision. I chose this because I wanted to look more sophisticated. I chose this because I wanted to look more trustworthy. I chose this because I wanted people to see me as a feminine woman. Whatever that decision is, you will make one choice and you will make that, take that picture and show us. Okay? Okay, you got an assignment. Thank you very much. I'll see you tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, Daylight Savings Time. Okay, have a blessed day and thank you.
Thank you, Lisi.
Bye.
Thank you.